Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Monday, the 23rd day of October, 2023, Monday of the 29th week of the year, the 29th week in Ordinary Time. Finally back from travels to the Midwest, the establishment of Our Lady of Guadalupe Province, now back once again here in the courtyard of the Franciscan School, back here in Raleigh, and with the iconic statue of St. Francis and the Wolf of Gubbio. So it is another glorious day here at the Franciscan School. It is finally a lot cooler, and our first really cool morning that we've experienced here in Raleigh. Our fifth grade is going off to someplace, so they're behind me. So it's good to be back finally. It's nice to be with friars, but it's always good to be back at the Franciscan School. So as we move towards the latter part of October, we are still continuing with the letter to the Romans, Paul's letter to the Romans, which, again, this part of Paul's letter to the Romans is very interesting because he kind of doesn't read his scripture well enough. And again, as if he was a scholar of the law or some kind of thing like that, he could have read a little bit more deeply into what actually is going on between Abraham and God. Because he says in this part of the letter that basically Abraham never, doubted God, and because of that, he was a righteous man, and that's what we need to do, is never doubt God, which is true. Yes. But the thing about it also is that Abraham, while he does not doubt God, he questions God again at least 37 times in Genesis about God, knowing what God is doing. Is this really good? Is this really going to take place? Is this really your plan? How can this work out? All these kinds of things. And the greatest, kind of questioning of God is, again, the encounter, at Sodom or Gomorrah. I think it was Sodom, in which God is getting ready to destroy the cities. And Abraham basically says, well, what if there's righteous people in there? It's like in 50, 40, 10, 30, all the way down to 10. Now, Abraham probably could have gone more and maybe have saved Sodom. But again, saying, would you kill an entire city, that even had righteous people in it? And God basically has to say, well, no, I wouldn't do that. So again, there is this questioning, but the thing about Abraham is that he could question and yet still want to believe. It was not a questioning that would lead to doubt, but a questioning that would lead to understanding. It is equal to Mary's own question about how can this be when she is told that she will bear the Messiah. It is not a question that is about doubt. It is a question that is saying, tell me how this can be done. Tell me how this can be done. Sometimes, again, we equate questioning with doubt, but that is not how God operates. And that is not how faith operates. That is not how growth in faith operates. It is not about a blind obedience. It is not about blind belief. It is always about a belief that comes about through questioning, a faith that seeks understanding. And understanding can only happen when we dare to question and continue to question and continue to question, because we want this to be true. We want this to mean something to us. We want this to have value in our lives. We want this to be something that is relevant and applicable to how it is that we live as believers in this world. So what Paul is saying is right in one way. He just needs to follow it up a little bit more on acknowledging the fact that Abraham's righteousness comes because he questions, and not because he blindly follows God, without any question or any kind of desire to know more. And the gospel today, Luke's gospel today, again, has nothing to do with the first reading, but it's about two people who go to Jesus to try to settle an argument about inheritances. And Jesus basically saying, if all that you care about is money and not your relationship with one another, and that's also very true, because there are so many people whose family lives are torn asunder when it comes to inheritances and to wills and to who gets what and who doesn't get what, or who tries to take what is there before the others get to the place so they can take it as their own. That works to divide families. Again, the idea of inheritance is trying to pass on perhaps what is good or what is wonderful or what was a source of happiness for a family or in a family, can become something that becomes incredibly divisive and sad and destructive to the life of a family. And so Jesus goes on with this parable about a landowner who amasses a great sum, just ready to enjoy it, and then he's going to die. It's kind of like the Alanis Morissette song, if you remember way back when, the whole song about people who hope and dream for certain kinds of things, and once they begin to attain it, something terrible happens that destroys it all. I don't know if she took it after this parable, but it's very much a part of this parable. And the thing about it is that we don't live for things. We don't even live for moments. We live for each other, which encompasses all kinds of things things in all kinds of moments. If it just boils down to making sure that I get this after somebody dies, or that I can claim this as my own, then we will miss out, on the wonder and beauty of what we build with each other, that these moments and these things just become a part of. A blessed day, St. Francis and people of God. Prayers. Thank you again for the prayers as we have established Our Lady of Guadalupe Province. May the Lord give you his peace.